What we don't talk about, guys, is how it works. How does plant medicine work to change our perspective? How does these emotional frequencies work? Affirmations and stuff like that. Well, we do know how they work because we're all spiritual beings. On this channel, it's very much spirituality guided. Apparently, our mind can move rocks, and pyramids are made with just our mind. When I had my PTSD, I healed my own PTSD by myself. I was let down by the government, not to be like, oh, they suck, but like, there's so many restrictions, and why some people have PTSD and why others don't is because the support system was never in place. So as soon as my support system was out of the context, because it was what was giving me PTSD, my family was what was giving me PTSD, so I didn't have the support, which meant I was alone. When you're alone, you feel like you haven't got the support system, your resilience is out. We've already confirmed this. Not we as in everybody in psychology, but me personally, I've confirmed that. When there's support system, there will be resilience. When you don't have support system, you won't have resilience. And resilience is what keeps us from crumbling, okay? It's what keeps us going. It's what tells us, you know what, sure, I'm rock bottom right now, but I'm gonna be at the top tomorrow. You know, that's what resilience is. So if we need social connection for resilience, PTSD is when resilience isn't around and you basically slowly end up locking this area, okay? This area is your cognition, okay? Cognition is all about future thinking, plans, what is logical, what is not. It's what gives you good grades at maths. It's what gives you great writing skills, all of this, whatever. All the logical things, it's all the things that help you save money, the things that help you decide, actually, if I harm this person, I'm gonna go to prison. So what happens with people who have PTSD? PTSD is very common in veterinarians. Go to war, these people who they're around, when they die, you're gonna be traumatized. If somebody died in front of you, you're gonna be traumatized. Also, we have to remember, PTSD can happen to anyone, okay? Anybody that can go through a traumatic event who hasn't got that support system, which means they haven't got that resilience, will end up with some sort of PTSD symptom. But we know that PTSD is a lot more serious because with PTSD, our cognition goes. This is when you get depression and anxiety mixed in with some traumatic event. It's a very horrible place to be in because when you're in it, you can't help yourself. You literally don't even know you're in that state. So when it happened to me, it was 2 years back now. It was a family situation. Everybody went against me in the family. What ended up happening is I was alone. I was homeless. Everything was literally down to me. And I felt that PTSD happened and I stopped going to the gym. I stopped even cooking the things that I loved. And I was like, damn, I didn't realize it initially. It was like a good month. I stopped doing the things that I loved. I stopped doing the art activities that I used to love. I remember just sitting on my bed and I was like, shoot, I can't think past tomorrow. I can't think past today. Like, I literally I can't. Like, I was just dead. This is before my spiritual awakening. This was what started my spiritual awakening. I was dead, I was gone. So what I'm trying to say is, when somebody is in PTSD, they won't know it. When I was in PTSD, I don't know it, okay? I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. In PTSD, people around me were reacting to the way I was reacting to my traumas. I was getting very agitated at people. I didn't have patience. I couldn't proceed. I just couldn't see how my actions would cause things anymore. So I went out with friends one time and I was just saying things that I thought I could say, and they were upset and I didn't understand why they were upset over little things, and you know, you'd fall out with people in hopes that you're protecting yourself. You're in depression and anxiety at the same time, so you're constantly trying to protect yourself, etc, etc. My point is, when the brain goes out, how on earth are we going to heal people if they can't even heal themselves? Government doesn't go further than you ever will for yourself. People around you will never go as far as you would for yourself. So when you're not there for yourself, what on earth happens? And my prediction for this population is that most of us actually live in trauma or PTSD of some sort, especially if, you know, when you're in PTSD, like you're basically a walking body. You're a walking zombie, and there's so much danger to cognition not means you haven't got the logic anymore. And when that leaves, this is where you get crime, all sorts of terrible incidents that happen. When I was in that situation, I was going through a lot of, you know, I was falling out with my friends. I fell out with everybody, you know. It was really, really bad. But that's what ended up be my spiritual awakening. I was completely alone. I had a friend who introduced me to some plant medicine at the time, and God thank him, because that is why I am who I am today. Not because of the plant medicine, but because I was able to see past my way of being. I was able to change my perspective. That is exactly why I'm doing this study. Because it is not about what foods you eat. It's not even necessarily about the plant medicine. I was just very lucky introduced me to a new way of thinking through plant medicine, because I was completely gone. And this is why there's so much research about PTSD with shrooms and psilocybin. These things work. How they work, we don't know. But we do know they connect certain parts of your brain together. They kind of like reboot the cognition for a second. Then it is your job to keep it up. But how can we do this without having to take plant medicine? I live in the UK, it's illegal here. How can we help people when things that literally help people are illegal? What's the other way of actually doing, what is psilocybin? What is shrooms? It's a different perspective that deals with the soul, that touches the soul, that touches the emotional aspects, the chakras. It's everything outside of the body, outside of the logic, of the things that make sense outside of the ego. I only had shrooms once, and the psilocybin really helped me, but I realized when I had the shrooms, I actually opened a can of worms, a can of all the hell I possibly could have ever gone through. It felt terrible. It wasn't like, oh, shrooms amazing, now I can see that my life was worth being, la la la. No, I had shrooms and it was like, shoot, oh, I didn't realize I really didn't like life this much. I didn't realize that I never really wanted to be here, or whatever. All those things that I never knew about were opened. So my job then was to work through it. How I worked through it was creativity. I had to use creativity to work on my emotions, to not necessarily understand them logically, because I couldn't do that at the time, but by really walking through them, okay, by just feeling. And slowly I started to feel the terrible emotions that I was carrying, mainly my sexual energies, because that was why I fell out with my family. It was something related to that. We'll get to that another day. Now I am proposing, if we engaged in more emotionally led creative tasks like dancing or arts, or, you know, instead of putting so much logic at the forefront, why don't we just use art to heal people? Yeah, I know this is not something that's not done already, but can it help change our perspective? The more we engage with the flow of life, with the arts, and it's not just about engagement with art, it's how crucial it is to develop our flow state, our creativity energy, because we all have it. We cannot solely rely on the brain. When we rely on the brain and anything traumatic happens, this is out straight away. So we need to start cultivating the heart, cultivating the body. The technology of the body is very clever. It is not lower than, it is something that actually carries us. So please take part. It's down below. I love you guys for